How's it going, everyone? Javita here with another testing update video. There's some pretty awesome updates in testing 194. I've already covered two of the major new features. Before we get started, I just want to reiterate that Escape is now the main menu and Tab is now the character menu. So if you use Tab for something else, you might need to go into your key binding settings to be able to rebind this, but this is now where you access the inventory, character, journal, places, knowledge, and the new exchange. Obviously you can still use the key bindings to go directly to the various windows, but if you want this particular character menu right here, the default is Tab, or you might need to go rebind it if you use Tab for other things. Main menu is still for character selection, returning to Sanctum, support, settings, and finally quit game. But you know, why would you want to ever click that button? So but yeah, let's just kind of take a look at the exchange. For one thing, all rewards end up here, and this is just amazing. If you have a whole bunch of rewards and you don't want to watch that animation every single time, there is a quick collect there. You can come over here and buy plots. Each plot is worth 30 qubits, and every time you level up, you get a set amount of qubits. It starts off, you get 60 qubits at the low levels, and then gradually climbs all the way up to 300 qubits per level at level 50. Actually, I believe it's level 42, 50 plus that you get 300 qubits, but yeah, very nice. And finally, you can come over to character and get extra kind of account type stuff like character slots, skill slots, appearance changes, full skill reset, and cleanse points. Apparently you can have up to 10 character slots. You can have up to 3 skill slots per character. It's good to note that these are kind of like charges, so just because you buy an appearance change does not mean you have to use it immediately. Same with full skill reset, so let's go ahead, buy that. And now I'll be able to reset my skills at a later date. Speaking of skills, there's a brand new skill tree. So I already made a video both on the exchange and the skill tree. If you want to see this in much more detail, this looks pretty amazing. And then down here you can see that I have 3 skill resets available. So apparently, okay, yeah, I probably had one available. I bought one earlier and then I bought one just now. So that would account for those 3 skill sets. Apparently now you can have more than 4 cleanse points. I still need to test out like if all the skill points from leveling will stack or if that still caps out at 3. But I did buy a 10 pack of cleanse points earlier, and as you can see, I've already used quite a few of those. So pretty awesome. And I would also like to re-stress that you can only spend 80 points per skill tree. As you can see, I still have 115, so I could come over to a new skill tree and spend these extra points. Getting to level 50 will get you enough points to fill out basically just one skill tree. And if you want to fill out an additional skill tree, you need to level past 50 in order to get that, and you get 3 skill points for every level 50 plus. So yeah, just because you're level 50 and you have 3 skill sets does not mean you can immediately use those 3 skill sets to their fullest advantage. So a couple of people were very concerned on the forums that being able to buy extra skill sets equaled pay to win, but really you still have to invest all that time to get those extra skills. So yeah, I don't see that as being pay to win, at least. Pay to be more convenient, sure. Pay to win, not so much. But let's get down to business here. So the next major feature after the exchange and the skill tree are doors. Oh my goodness, look at these doors. There's so many doors. This is just insane. This one was placed by James. It's pretty awesome. It's a plain gleam door, and apparently I guess this is black gleam because normally this would be the color of the gleam of whatever it's crafted with, but it looks absolutely amazing there. Kind of gives this area kind of like a jail cell feel or something like that, or I don't know, just I really like it. So pretty awesome. But here is the rest of the doors over here. So there's different material types, obviously, but then each material type has different qualities. So we have our plain, stylish, and then ornate over here. So this is of course made out of wood, and I love how many of the doors you can kind of see through. It gives them much more dramatic, especially for portals. That's pretty awesome that you can see the rendered portal through the door. Also, some of these doors have glass built into them, so you can kind of see through them, but not perfectly. And yeah, of course, whatever type of wood you use will affect the color of these doors. So this was crafted with a lighter color door versus these doors over here. So pretty amazing. Over here we have the stone doors, again plain, stylish, and then ornate. And so as you can see, this stuff actually glows. So if this was in the dark, you just kind of see like two eyes looking at you. It's pretty awesome. It's kind of tempting to think that maybe you could shoot through that, but in fact you cannot. So as you can see right there, but pretty awesome all the same. Very nice looking door. And coming over here is have the metal doors. So over here we have the ornate, stylish, and common or plain. And as you can see, as long as it's the same type of door, so like a plain metal door in this case, you can mix and match colors. Now if I took this plain door and stuck it over here with the stylish, you can still stack them, but then you'd have to open up each door type individually. So you could make some pretty awesome looking combinations, but it's not the most user-friendly door since each section has to be opened separately. So very nice. And the ornate metal doors are crafted out of alloy. So this is a gold alloy door, and so you can have your silver, gold, and titanium. And I think there is a way to get these in copper and iron variations if you wanted to. I'm just not 100% sure how to do that. It might rely on the color mixing feature that is that might be coming at a future date. And same for these lower doors, they're crafted out of the base metals, so for the time being these appear to be locked to either copper or iron, at least until the dyeing system is implemented in some form or fashion. Over here we have a plain gleam door, and again you can mix and match these colors. So right here we have the cream, yellow, blue, and red that are available right now. This top part is the pure white that James was kind enough to provide. And similar story here, it's got the pure white with this kind of weird green color, and mix and match, very nice. And then over here these doors are just insane. Look at these are the ornate gleam doors. Let's go ahead and get rid of this grapple in the UI so you can just appreciate how awesome these look. So basically all the doors, they have kind of a bottom and then a top and then a middle that will tile. So you can make these doors basically as tall as you want. I'm sure there is a maximum height somewhere, but yeah, I haven't quite found it just yet. And holy crap, these just look amazing. So if you see here, this color right here is the color that's determined by the gleam. So this is either red or magenta, have some sort of white here or gray, and then that kind of strange green color right here. But all three of these look just amazing. And got this little guy like, "You shall not pass," or maybe he's getting ready to open the door. Can't really see a face on the other side, so I guess on either side it's going to well, look like this basically. But just amazing, and screams like grand entrance to like a hallowed place or a temple, or you know, some area of great importance. So very awesome indeed. And naturally, all of these doors are also available in trapdoor versions. So that is quite nice. Actually has even highlighted a few interesting trapdoor and portal interactions. For one thing, you can go through essentially a door like this. So you can kind of make like a one-way portal, and it's pretty interesting. Also, the physics for slides have been tweaked a little bit, so now when there's this kind of 45-degree angle change and, well, angle, you don't really lose hardly any momentum at all, so it makes slides feel a lot smoother even though they're changing in their angle or pitch or whatnot. So that is pretty amazing. And I even discovered this kind of strange oddity that's pretty awesome actually, is that if you stand on this trapdoor and then interact with it, you actually fall through the portal or fall on the other side of the portal rather than going through it. So you could actually set up like basically a second destination for a portal or a secret kind of room or whatnot. Who knows if this functionality will stay for the long term, but at least for the time being it appears to be a thing. So that is pretty awesome, and I could think of some pretty interesting uses for such a mechanic. Portals have also seen a number of improvements, particularly with fluids. So now instead of an underwater portal creating its own air pocket and only being able to see basically the running water like that, it now can open directly into the water. So that is really amazing. And there's new underwater sounds, which is just oh, I could just listen to this just about all day. Also, it looks like the visibility underwater has been modified quite a bit. Never have I been able to see all this kind of underwater tree stuff that clearly, and it just looks amazing. And with these new changes, water can now flow freely through portals like they aren't even there. The only reason why this water isn't spilling into this area is because these blocks right here are chiseled, so that stops it from flooding into this room. So if you don't want that effect, you'll have to take a little extra precautions, but it's pretty awesome. Same is also true for lava, so if you see this kind of orangey fog, beware, it's probably lava. So as you can see right there, we're clearly underneath the surface of lava. And another amazing thing is you can now swim in lava. That is, that lava is no longer like walking through air, so you don't just immediately fall to the bottom. And swimming in lava is about you about have half the mobility you have in swimming in water. So yeah, it's still quite deadly, but if you're willing to waste a lot of healing brews, you can go for a swim. See, the visibility is pretty terrible. Looks like I can't quite get out. And yeah, it's hard to even see my way back to the portal, so but that is pretty awesome. While we're talking about portals, the largest portal required is now fixed to 24 blocks or 24 portal conduits. So basically you won't have to ever consider making a 10 by 10 or 100 block portal unless you just really want to show off with a huge portal. So that is pretty awesome right there. And of course the forge is still here and has seen many new improvements, mostly with readability and kind of convenience, but all of the effectiveness, vigor, stability, the descriptions have been kind of reworded to make them much more obvious on, you know, what effect they have and how you can augment that, as well as what happens if you run out of vigor or stability. So quite nice. They've also kind of sped up the animations a little bit, so things go a little bit faster while forging. Also, the vigor, stability, and effectiveness have all been rebalanced, and if you spec solely for forging or get all of the skills related to forging, you can actually get 100% effectiveness on gem equipment. So that is pretty amazing. Another awesome thing is now forged equipment glows. So here is a founder's totem that was forged by Will Crutchley over there, and he was kind enough to allow me to show it off for the video. So it looks pretty amazing, and it seems to make just about anything glow except for grapples for some reason. I don't know if that's a bug or maybe the grapples are just a little bit small for having such a big glow effect on them. So but anyway, that is pretty amazing. So now you can show off that you're sporting some rather epic forged gear. So pretty awesome. And this glow appears to be dependent on how strong the forging actually is. If you take a look at forged equipment, or any equipment really, there is a new stat called rank. And so each tool will have a base amount of rank, and then forging will add to that rank. This will basically give you some indication of how well the item will actually perform compared to the base item. So you see right here, this has a rank of 110, but normally has a rank of 80. So not a huge boost, at least compared to some other things. Like this one down here has a rank of 270 compared to its base rank of 100. So that is pretty awesome. Moving along, there are several quality of life additions in this patch, namely, with the new skill tree, there is both no longer skills for inventory and death penalty reduction. This is because death penalty has been reworked. It no longer damages all of your gear. Instead, you lose a portion of your experience, and I think you take a little bit of penalty to your hunger bar. So your stamina bar will get smaller a little bit faster if you're dying a lot, and you will lose a portion of experience. It is good to note that if you manage to deplete your entire experience bar, that you cannot level down. So if I managed to deplete all of this experience, I would not level down to level 49 or anything crazy like that. So that is really nice. And again, since there's no inventory skills, this is now the new default inventory, and yeah, you no longer have to spend skills to open it up, and that is just amazing. If I'm understanding the patch notes correctly, if you are revived via this revive skill, then there is no experience penalty. So if you use the revive brew, or if somebody else revives you using a revive augment, then yeah, you won't take any experience penalty. So that is pretty cool. Another amazing quality of life addition as far as skills that it took me a while to actually notice this, but yeah, all the basic skills are basically no longer a thing. It's just given to you by default. So you don't have to unlock the compass. You don't have to unlock the additional skills for the compass. So as you can see, I can see all of these wild animals off in the distance without having to spend any additional skill points. Same goes for creeping. So now I might actually use creeping because I would never actually take the skill. And yeah, you no longer have to take a skill just to unlock advanced block rotation. So that is pretty nice. Hopefully maybe they'll add an option to toggle block rotation in some way in the future, because it was a little bit handy to be able to unlearn that skill if you wanted to be able to place blocks in at least the default rotation without having to really worry about how you're looking and what direction, and yeah. As well as this awesome gathering epic that allows you to actually dig up surface resources and maintain them as a placeable item. That is pretty awesome. If you harvest them with something other than a shovel, then you get an extra drop from it. So it not only helps you to gather decorations, but also to gather more resources from them. So that is pretty amazing right there. Another amazing bit is now there are only 3 types of beacon fuel. So now the lowest beacon fuel, basically they got rid of the 2 lower beacon fuels. So now the basic beacon fuel will fuel up to 28 days, or essentially 1 month. The maximum fuel time is still set to 4 months, so very, very nice there. And a nice little boost to low-level players is that the low-level tools and equipment now do much more damage to creatures. So this should help with any player that's new to the game and might have a spitter after them if they haven't quite managed to make a sling bow yet. Now they'll be able to use whatever tool they have to do much more damage to fend off the creature. So that is pretty awesome. Also, 150 new objectives have been added to the game. This is to help show off all the game has to offer and kind of guide new players through discovering the game. So if you need a more guided experience, you can use the feats and objectives to kind of do that, or simply ignore them and just explore through the game yourself. So that is pretty awesome that it's not in your face, and yet it is there if you need or want it. And as you can see right now, there is a new debuff of basically starvation. So now I take damage over time until I eat a little bit of food. So no longer can you just run around with the smallest stamina bar and just really not experience any negative consequences other than having a small stamina bar. So let's see here. Here we go. Let's get some food out. Voila. All better. So I certainly wouldn't call starvation a quality of life improvement. However, considering you literally trip over food everywhere, I mean, you can get off of surface resources, leaves, just digging it out of the dirt, creatures, it shouldn't be that hard to be able to feed yourself, and will add a kind of interesting little survival mechanic to the game. If you accidentally do run out of food, you might have to really scramble to get some. In the starvation debuff, it's really pretty weak. It's just 25 damage every few seconds, and shouldn't be hard to overcome. And an awesome quality of life feature is that the chat now has a phrases section down here. So you can click through this menu and there is a crazy number of, you got answers, greetings, materials, questions, roles, tactical, tools, trading, transportation, and this will allow you with, you know, however many clicks it took you to get here to say this out loud to whoever's around you. So can you build a warp? Can you build a portal? I want to be a fighter. Let's see here. Yes, please. So as you can see, it's saying it right here. And the really cool thing is that whenever additional languages are added to the game, these will be automatically translated into the native language of the client seeing it. So if you're trying to talk to somebody that's, say, Russian or French, then you can do some pretty decent amount of communication just using these alone. It's pretty amazing. And as you probably noticed, I've been running around with this really fancy Founder's Totem. Basically, welcome to the Boundless sport. This is literally how it was described in the patch notes. These are essentially titanium hammers, axes, and shovels all rolled into one tool. So we can open this up, look at it, and yeah, it does 1000 base damage, which is 100 more than titanium. However, it's good to note that these will get 0 benefit from the tool masteries. They still get benefit from power, as well as this damage epic down at the bottom that just gives you 50% plus damage to everything. But yeah, these masteries up here and the masteries down here will not increase the damage, so that kinda is maybe why it has the extra little bit of damage on it, and also prevents this from being overpowered. These are not free to craft. As you can see over here, it's pretty much the exact same recipe as any titanium tool. So it takes titanium alloy, enriched bonding agent, etc. In order to craft these, you do need to be a Wayfarer or higher as far as your backing level on Boundless. However, these are tradable, so you can buy these from players that do have the ability to craft these if you do not have the recipe yourself. So that is pretty awesome. While we're talking about totems, it's good to note that the regular totem, while it hasn't really seen any changes, it does now have a durability bar. So right now you can see that it has a maximum durability of 400. However, you still can craft these for free. So it's not really any big deal when they break. You just craft another one and you're good to go. This was more to kind of prevent abuse of basically an immortal tool that you can just swing indefinitely and never worry about it breaking. And on the same token, beacon plotters and removers also have durability, so you can't just sit there and spam a plotter indefinitely trying to claim a beacon that might be trying to burn out. Speaking of backer levels and rewards, the Adventure Edition, which is available both from playboundless.com and Steam, now gets a plus 10% bonus to their plots. So any plots earned either through leveling or through buying with qubits, you will now get 10% more plots for your trouble, which is pretty amazing. If you want to be able to craft the Founder Totem, it's just one tier past Adventurer, so pretty nice. Okay, well, I think that covers 194 about as well as I possibly can. There is things that I would still like to talk about, but I think I'm just out of time. Just to throw a few examples out, Steam achievements are now working. The logic or the mechanics behind steps are somehow improved, which should make them a little bit smoother. I touched briefly that the mechanics for slides are a little bit tweaked and should make slides a lot more fun, but again, it's like I'm already at 20 minutes plus here, so this was Javita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you like my channel and want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. Until next time, peace.